Good morning, movie nerds. How's it going? It's AJ here, movie nerd, and we're going to be listening to a really cool podcast today. The Amity Island Police Radio, JAWS Nightline. If you want to check it out yourself, if you don't want to listen, I'll have a link in the description. So let's get started.
Dispatch log. Amity Station 1. Read on the desk.
Now, Jaws is a cult classic movie that everyone can enjoy. It's had, I believe, I'll put it in the description as well later on, how many movies it's had. I think four. And so far, no fake movies. But yeah, Jaws is a interesting true story. The first movie was a true story, but it was not based off of a great white. It was actually based off of a blue shark that happened in the creeks. Or was it blue shark? Let me know in the comments. I kind of forgot which one it was.
The harbor's at a dead calm. The tide is slack, and from my vantage point, the water looks more like a sheet of black glass than the Atlantic. It's quiet, the kind of heavy, humid silence that usually precedes the July 4th influx.
And I will
Brody
tag the
remains off
person.
island for the
I'll
night.
give him credit for this.
He's back on the mainland attending some administrative briefings in Fall River. It's a steep transition for him.
That'd be a cool one.
The move from New York to a coastal island carries a different set of pressures than he's used to. He brings a city-bred vigilance to the department that hasn't quite aligned with the local pace yet. Some of the long-term residents are still waiting to see if a man who fears water can truly lead a town that lives on it. The mayor's office has been clear. With the holiday weekend approaching, priority is public optics. They want the beaches clear and incident reports kept to a minimum. I'm currently monitoring the Coast Guard frequencies.
If you enjoy this,
Channel
don't forget
16 is
to like.
active with the usual summer traffic.
This might be a regular
Pleasure
thing
craft was
that's coming
navigating by
soon.
Vineyard and reported a drifting buoy approximately 6 miles out. We're small, but at this hour, Amity Station is the primary link between the shore and the shelf. Current blotter shows a noise complaint regarding a beach bonfire at South Beach. I sent a cruiser out to disperse the group. There's also a secondary report of an unsecured dinghy missing from the East Jetty. Routine summer occurrences, kind of mundane entries that make it easy to lose sight of the scale of the water out here. But the night is young. James Reed, Amity PD, out. Amity Police Officer Reed.
Reed, that you? It's Ben Gardner. Listen, I'm down here at the marina, and some of these summer kids left their damn dinghy unmoored again. It's been banging against my hull for 20 minutes. Can't get a wink of sleep.
Hello, Ben. A little late for a noise complaint, right? Which slip are you in tonight?
The same slip I've been in for 15 years, James. Near the end of the East Jetty. The boat's a little white 10-footer. Probably belongs to those folks right in the Watkins cottage. If it puts a dent in my gel coat, I'm sending the bill to the mayor's office.
Volume
I'll have
down.
an officer swing by on the way to the North Shore. Just leave the kids be, Ben. I don't want to have to process an assault charge because you threw something at a teenager.
Just get them to tie it up. There's a hell of a lot of chum in the water tonight. Don't know what stirred them up, but the schools are moving fast. Makes for a nervous night on the docks.
Try to get some sleep, Ben. Read out. Amity Police Officer Reed.
James, it's Charlie down at the harbor office. I saw the lights were still on over at the dock station. You pulling the double tonight, or did you just forget how to go home?
Graveyard shift belongs to me until the 4th, Charlie. She wants a visible presence on the water side while he's tied up with the admin stuff on the mainland. He's worried about ferry crowds, but honestly, I think he just wants someone down here to make sure the Atlantic doesn't move any closer to Town Hall. What's on your mind?
I'm looking at the slip assignments for tomorrow morning, and honestly, it's a mess. We've got a fleet of pleasure craft coming in from the Vineyard starting at 6 a.m. Everyone and their cousin decided this is the year to bring the yacht to Amity. I'm short-staffed on the night watch. One of our guys called out. The others are busy at the fuel dock. I need to make sure the PD boat's cleared out of slip 4. We've got a 60-foot cabin cruiser coming in that needs the deep water berth by sunrise.
Well, I'll have to check with Officer Sanchez. She's out on patrol with the 2 Baker unit, but she usually keeps the keys to the Boston Whaler on her belt. If we move the PD boat to the bigger piers near the Coast Guard station, will that interfere with the 7 a.m. ferry lane? I don't want the damn captain of the Spirit of the Amity up my neck just because our hull's sticking out 3 feet.
As long as you stay tight against the pilings by the end of the pier, he'll have plenty of clearance. Just make sure the lines are doubled up. The tide's pulling pretty hard. Speaking of which, I do have a weird one for you, James. I just had one of the lobster boats come in off the shelf, and skipper was raising hell at the dock. Claimed he couldn't find the number 12 channel marker. Said the light was out and the bell wasn't tolling.
Number 12. That's the big one off the North Shore rocks. That buoy's dark. We got a pretty big navigational hazard before the morning ferry starts. You sure he didn't lose his bearings out there in the mist? Some of these guys, they've been out there 12 hours and eyes can play tricks on you in the fog.
He was certain James said the buoy's gone. Not just dark, but gone. I'm looking at my radar sweep, and I don't have a return on it either. Those mooring chains are forged steel, so they don't just snap in a calm June swell. I'm worried we've got a loose 3-ton tank of steel drifting towards the jetty.
All right, let me check my map. I've got Jessica heading that way to a shoreline sweep for the North Shore. I haven't heard from her in a bit, but I'll try to raise her on the radio. Maybe have a spot lamp on the rocks. If that chain's drifting, she'll be the first one to see it wash up.
Well, tell her to be careful. If that thing hits the rocks, it'll sound like a bomb going off. And if a boat clips it, well, I don't want to be the one calling the Coast Guard for a rescue operation on a Friday night. I'm going to head out now and check the lines on the transient docks before the wind picks up. If you hear from her, or if she finds that marker, give me a whistle on my landline. I'm going to keep my radio off. I'm tired of listening to tourists argue on Channel 16.
Will do, Charlie. Get some coffee in you. Once that sun comes up, island's going to be crawling with people. And I think we'll both wish it was still 3 a.m. and quiet. Read out. Amity PD, Officer Reed.
James, it's Stan over at the Snug Harbor. You got a minute, or are you actually busy for once?
I'm making it work, Stan. Mostly paperwork and bad coffee. What's the trouble? Summer crowd starting the holiday early?
I wish it were the tourists. They're just sitting in booths staring at menus, complaining about humidity. No, it's one of the locals. I got Quinn in here again, James. 3 sheets to the wind. He's decided the bar is his personal stage. Been singing those damn shanties loud enough to rattle windows, and just about took the head off a guy from the mainland because he didn't like the way he was looking at his shark tooth necklace.
Not again. Did he actually swing at the guy, or is he just being loud?
Just loud so far, but he's making everyone nervous. He got a couple of the waitresses half scared to go near his table. I've cut him off, but he's refusing to budge. Says he's waiting on the tide and won't move until he finishes his business. Listen, I don't want to call the chief. I know he's out of the island, but I can't have him scaring off at dinner rush tomorrow just because he's still passed out in a booth.
All right, listen to me, Stan. Don't serve him another drop, not even a glass of water. You tell him I'm looking at the log right now, and if I have to send an officer down there to put him in a cell for the night, he'll spend the first day of the weekend behind bars instead of out on the water. You got enough to deal with tonight without playing babysitter for a grown man.
I told him that, James. I really did. He just laughed at me. He said Amity PD couldn't catch a cold, let alone him. He's in a real mood tonight. Something about the water being wrong.
All right, listen, try this. Tell him to get his gear together and get back to the Orca immediately. Tell him the harbor master's looking for him about a missing channel marker. If he's not back on his boat in 10 minutes, I'm going to personally come down there to tow that tub of his right off the shelf myself. That should get his attention.
Back to the Orca. Got it. I'll relay the message. Hopefully he listens. lessons before you start trying to arm wrestle a cigarette machine. Thanks, James.
So, if you didn't know who that was, Orca is actually the. If you've seen the movie Jaws, you know what the Orca is. It's the boat that, you know, if you know, you know. But, yeah, even he knows something's going on with the water. And if you notice that they're all talking about the buoy that they're talking about is the one that got loose, that Jaws took off and did something with, and it disappeared and reappeared. And, yeah. So now they're talking about the captain of the orca ship.
I'll keep a sandwich aside for you in case you're still on the desk later.
Make it a roast beef, Stan. Read out.
Roast beef is good. This is very, and I did tag the guy that's made this as well. If YouTube tells him.
Amity Island Police to all Coast Guard and mainland units monitoring this frequency. Officer Reed to Amity PD transmitting status update and BOLO for Amity jurisdiction and surrounding waters. Stand by. All stations be advised. Confirm missing buoy, channel marker number 12, last seen at its mooring off the North Shore rocks. Buoy is a 3-ton steel canister. Light and bell are presumed non-functional. Coast Guard, be advised we have a heavy fog in the area with visibility under 50 yards. If that marker is seen drifting into ferry lanes, it's a blind strike for any incoming transient vessels. Any mainland craft departing for Amity at 0600 tide should maintain extreme caution near the North Shore shelf. Entry 2 missing vessel, Bolo for a white 10-foot dinghy, no name, no registration visible. Slipped its mooring near Amity East jetty at about midnight. Tide currently slack, but moving toward the shelf. If any mainland patrols or harbor units locate the craft, please notify Amity Station on this frequency. Entry 3, holiday traffic advisory. All units monitoring for 4th of July weekend be advised. Effective 0600, Amity Island will be implementing restricted access to all beach ramp entry points. This is a reminder for any off-island agencies assisting with transport. Emergency vehicle access only at the South Beach and East Beach ramps. Entry 4, regarding the earlier report at Snug Harbor involving a local resident, subject has vacated the area and is reported to be back at the marina. Subject's vessel, the Orca, is back in its slip. No further action required. Weather visibility update. Local conditions at Amity Station, fog thickening, wind near zero, but humidity spiking. We're hearing reports from local fishermen of unusual movement in bait schools, heavy chumming near the shelf. Please keep your eyes on the water line and report any debris washing up on the rocks. Amity Station returning to monitor status, Coast Guard Channel 16, local mainland band. Officer Reed, Amity PD, cleared.
Sit down. I'm fixing something while we're listening.
James, it's Dr. Ronson. I'm over at the morgue finishing up the paperwork on that drowning from last month. I saw your patrol lights through the window. You're the only thing moving on this side of the island.
Perks of the graveyard shift, Doc. Just me and the radio. What can I do for you? If you're not calling to tell me you got more paperwork for us.
No, the paperwork can wait until the sun's up, but I've been looking at the tide charts for the holiday weekend, and I'm curious. Have you had any reports tonight about water temperature or currents?
Well, Coast Guard reported a slight dip, maybe 62 degrees at the surface. Currents are normal, though Harbor Master said tide's pulling harder than the moon should be accounting for. Why do you ask?
I was out on my porch earlier looking towards the South Beach line. The water's pretty restless for a calm night. I've lived on this island a long time, and I don't know. I'm just seeing a lot of activity near the shelf. Phosphorescence mostly, but something's moving out there that's displacement heavy. If we get swimmers in the water tomorrow morning for the holiday, I just want to make sure beach patrols are actually awake.
Got Officer Jessica Sanchez doing a sweep of the dunes right now. She's keeping the spot lamp on the water, I think. They had reports earlier of missing buoy and some unusual movements in the bait schools, but nothing warranting a public advisory. But you know how the mayor is. You have have my badge if I started to panic over restless water before the first ferry even gets here.
I know Larry Vaughn. He'd ignore a hurricane if it meant he could sell another ice cream cone on the boardwalk. Just keep your ears open, okay? My father used to say, when the bait fish start crowding the shallows this time of year, they're not looking for food, they're trying to hide. Anyway, good night, officer.
Good night, Doc. Try to get some rest. Read out.
Hey, Vaughn, one. Go ahead.
Station. You still awake over there, James? This is Jess.
I'm here, Jessica. Just me and my coffee. Finished with those college kids over at South Beach?
Yeah, finally. They weren't too happy about the early curfew, but they cleared out. Left enough beer cans behind to pay for my retirement if I recycled them, though. I'm just sitting here at the access ramp now, looking at the surf. It's a bit spooky tonight. Fog's so thick I can barely see the white cap.
Copy that. Listen, let's hope the mayor's not driving around tonight. He sees you sitting still too long, he'll have you painting lifeguard stands before the 4th of July.
Tell me about it. Hey, put something in the book for me. About 50 yards down from the Watkins porch, there's a pile of clothes just sitting there in the sand. It's a dress and some shoes. Looks like someone went for a swim but didn't come back for their gear. I don't see anyone in the water, but with this mist, I couldn't see a freightliner if it was 10 feet out.
Probably just more tourists. They think the Atlantic's a swimming pool. I'll make a note, but stay close to your car. Chief was on edge about the holiday, and the last thing we need is a missing persons report on a Friday night.
You got it.
If
I'm
you
gonna
don't,
hang here for a second.
if you don't know about this part, if you know, you know. But this is the part where the two young couple that went into the that went into the water, and the young couple, you know how that is. Late night beach time, and yeah, sorry about that. I had to plug in my tablet, and yeah, if you know that part where the lady goes, wee, wee, ooh, got killed, and I believe the guy got it as well. Can't remember. Hmm. I have to watch JAWS again. Remember that part. But the clothes that she's talking about is the clothes that they took off before they got into the water, and you know,
And sweep the dunes with the
yeah.
light, just in case they're, well, I'll buzz you back in 10. Sanchez clear.
Amity Station 1, Coast Guard Sector Southeast. You copy on this frequency? No.
Amity Station 1 copies. Go ahead. You're coming in a little scratchy on my end. Over.
Copy that, Amity. We got reports of atmospheric interference due to heavy fog bank sitting over the sound. You guys issuing a localized notice to mariners for the Amity North Shore. National Weather Service is reporting an unseasonable drop in barometric pressure. Currently holding 29.84 and falling. Also got reports of a navigational hazard, drifting class 2 buoy, presumed to be your number 12 marker. Radar tracking lost the signal 10 minutes ago near the shelf drop-off. Over.
Understood. We have an APB out on our end, but my unit on the North Shore is busy with a visual sweep of rocks, and visibility is near zero. Any word on that tanker that was drifting near the lane earlier? Over.
Tanker Valiant is cleared the sounds, currently 3 miles east of Vineyard. They reported no contact with any submerged objects, but Captain noted unusual surface turbulence near the Amity Channel. Said the water was boiling with bait fish. We're also getting a report from a trawler about a missing 10-foot wide dinghy. Is that yours? Over.
Roger. Belongs to a local renter. If your cutters spot it, let us know, but at this hour, I'm more worried about that buoy hitting the ferry in the morning. Is the 0600 departure still a go on your end? Over.
Ferry's still scheduled. We'll reevaluate 0500. Just keep your shoreline units alert. Got a long night ahead, Amity. Coast Guard Sector Southeast, standing by, Channel 16. Out.
James, you there? Pick up for a second.
Go ahead, Jess. You still down at South Beach?
I have to something. I don't like that. Hold on. You're gonna hear echo pretty soon. I gotta test something. This better be freaking working. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh.
I'm up near the North Shore jetty now. I was heading toward the lighthouse when something caught my eye near the rock. I had to get out and take a look.
What do you got?
Okay.
More laundry from the tourists?
Worse. It's a buoy.
I
One
was
of those
making
big
sure it
channel
was working.
markers. Number 12, I think. It's washed up high on the rocks. But, James, the metal is shredded. And I don't mean storm damage shredded. It looks like something took a literal bite out of the side of it. Heavy gauge steel, just peeled back like a tin can.
Maybe a freighter clipped it in the fog? We had a report of a tanker drifting too close to the shelf earlier.
I don't know. A freighter would have flattened it. This looks jagged. And there's no paint transfer from another hole. Just a lot of gray, I don't know, slime? Look, I'm going to toss it in the trunk of the Plymouth and just bring it back to the station. The chief's going to want to see this before he talks to the Coast Guard tomorrow.
Copy that. Yes, just watch your hands on that jagged metal. I'll clear some space on the evidence bench for it. Anything else out there moving?
Not a thing. It's dead quiet. Even the gulls aren't making a sound tonight. I'll see you in 20. Sanchez clear.
So that's the buoy that you see in the big. I think it was the beginning of the movie that does that thing. Can't remember.
Amity Station 1 to Coast Guard Sector Southeast. Priority update regarding the APB channel marker 12. Do you copy? Over.
Coast Guard copy. Amity. Go ahead. You find your drifter out there? Over.
Affirmative. Our officer on the North Shore located a marker. It was washed up on the rocks about a mile south of the lighthouse. But be advised, this wasn't a mooring failure. My officer on scene reported severe structural damage to the buoy casing. She described it as shredded. Heavy gauge steel peeled back and deep jagged scores in the metal. Over.
Copy that, Amity. Shredded? Talking about a reinforced steel canister. You suggesting there was a collision? The Valiant was the only heavy tonnage in that lane tonight, and it checked out clean. See any hole paint or rust transfer? Over.
Negative on the paint. She said she saw some kind of gray biological residue, but no signs of a vessel strike. No oil, no diesel, no paint. Looks more like a mechanical failure or massive impact from something unconventional. I'm having the unit report the debris back to the station for inspection. You're going to want to send a tech down here in the morning to look at these marks. Over.
Biological residue. Understood, Amity. We'll log it as a suspicious navigational hazard. I'll notify Port Authority to keep the morning ferry on a slow bow approach until we can verify there isn't more wreckage in the channel. Keep us posted if your unit finds anything else on that shoreline. Over and out.
I don't know what this is for. Oh, looking at my DJ mic cord.
Amity Police Officer
Oh,
Reed.
I do have a big...
Officer, please. It's Mrs. Maddox. I'm down here near the shoreline just past the public beach and I can't find him. He's gone.
Whoa, hey, Mrs. Maddox, take a breath. You're calling from your house? Who's missing? Your husband?
No, it's Pit Pit. My dog. He was just playing in the shallows. He likes to fetch the stick in the surf, you know? He's done it 1,000 times. I threw it out just a little past the break, and he went in. He was swimming. I could see his head bobbing in the moonlight.
Okay, listen, I'm marking the time. The tide's pulling really hard tonight. Maybe he got caught in a rip and drifted down towards the jetty. Have you tried looking towards the South Dunes?
No, officer, he didn't drift. I was watching him, and then there was a swirl, and the water just opened up. There wasn't a sound, not a bark, no splash, just a ripple, and he was gone. I've been standing here for 20 minutes calling him.
That sounds
I
like
got my
a voice.
flashlight on the water, but there's nothing. There's the stick. The stick is just limp. Why isn't he coming back for the stick?
Okay, Mrs. Maddox, listen to me. Stay by the phone. It's pitch black out there tonight. There's some fog. You don't want to be wandering around the property. It's too thick. Listen, dogs get spooked. Catch a scent. They'll run a half mile down the beach before they think about coming home. He probably climbed out 100 yards down, and he's making his way back to your porch right now. I'll have Officer Sanchez swing by the area and use the cruiser's spot lamp as soon as she's clear from the North
That
Shore.
guy went bye-bye.
Does that sound okay?
Came back.
You don't understand. The water, it was like something reached up and took him. It was so fast and so quiet. Please help me find him. He's all I have out here.
Okay, well, I've got the call log.
Didn't know I even had one of
Check the
those.
shoreline as soon as we can,
Okay.
and I will call you as soon as we find him. Just keep your porch light on so he can find his way home.
I'm not going to touch that one. I don't... Was that in the movie? Probably.
Amity Station 1 to all mainland units and Coast Guard Sector Southeast. Stand by for a supplemental update to tonight's blotter.
Lauder.
All units be advised. We have a reported missing domestic animal in the vicinity of the Maddox property, south of Public Beach. Subject is a black Labrador answering to the name Pit Pit. One reports the animal went into the surf at approximately 0345 hours, failed to return to shore. Officer Sanchez, when you complete your sweep of the North Shore, transition to a low-speed shoreline patrol heading south. Use your alley lights. Check the dunes. Property status update regarding the previously reported missing 10-foot dinghy. We are officially upgraded to presumed lost status. Given the current tide and the lack of any sightings by mainland transit, it's likely the craft has been pulled into the channel or swamped. Harbor Master, if you're monitoring, we need an official incident report for the insurance adjusters by Monday. Reiterating the APD on channel marker number 12, Coast Guard radar still has no return on the target, but the structural damage reported by our field unit suggests the marker may be partially submerged, dragging its mooring chain beneath the surface. Any incoming mooring ferry or commercial fishing vessel should treat the North Shore approach as a restricted zone. Keep your eyes out. I'm noting a significant increase in reports of unusual marine activity. Between the harbor master, local skippers, and the ME's office, consensus is high concentration of bait fish moving into the shallows. All units should maintain an elevated state of awareness for any further debris or biological residue washing up on the tide line. Amity desk remains at minimum staffing, currently processing the midship paperwork. Station 1 clear, returning to monitor status.
I have to do anything cool.
Dispatcher's log. They tell you when you start this job, the island has a rhythm. Learn the sounds of the ferry engine, the way the wind whistles through the pilings at the marina.